Yeah, the continuation. So I implemented the data storage and management, I implemented the Amazon RDS Postgres with multi-easy and TMS encryption. I also implemented the Amazon S3 with object lock for immutable PHI storage. I implemented the server-side encryption using AWS TMS and customer managed keys. And also I implemented a cross-region replication for disaster recovery. In this project, I implemented the network security where we have the private VPC with no internet gateways, a VPC endpoint for secure AWS service access. And also, I implemented the network ACLs and security groups for traffic control. I implemented the AWS WAF for application layer protection. And, and moving on, I also implemented the security and compliance where I make use of the AWS TMS with the customer managed keys for encryption. I implemented the AWS Cloud Trail for comprehensive API logging and also implemented the AKS audit logging for Kubernetes activities. I implemented the VPC flow logs for network traffic analysis. I also implemented the AWS guard duty for threat detection. I also implemented the AWS security hub for centralized security finding. So moving on here, we have the stage where we have the operational components with the backup and disaster recovery, where I implemented AWS backup with automated backup schedules and RDS automated backups with 35-day retention. I implemented the S3 versioning for data protection and cross-region replication for secondary region. I implemented the monthly disaster recovery testing with documented procedures. I also implemented the restore test testing script, and here also I implemented the observability stacks where I make use of the Amazon CloudWatch for metrics and logs, Amazon Manage Prometheus for custom metrics, Amazon Manage Grafana for visualization, AWS S-Race for distributed tracing, and custom alerting for security and performance events. I implemented the CI/CD pipeline where I make use of the GitHub Actions with security first pipeline stages, Terraform for infrastructure as code, Privy for infrastructure vulnerability scanning, and open policy agent, which is the OPA for policy as code. And I implemented the manual approval for production deployment, where I was able to also implement the automated compliance reporting. And moving on, I moved on to the security controls implementation where I implemented the administrative safeguards to assign security responsibility for whereby it was I dedicated security account in AWS organization and I implemented the workforce security for whereby I implemented the Cognito with MFA and role-based access. I implemented the information access management for users with minimum necessary access, and I implemented security incident procedures, which include the cloud trail plus the security hub for incident detection. I implemented the contingency planning for the AWS backup and cross-region replication. And the when it comes, yeah, it came to the when it came to the physical safeguards, I implemented the facility asset controls with AWS data center for security and compliance with the HIPAA. I implemented the workstation use and security, whereby I implemented the private VPC for eliminating public workstation access, and also implemented device and media controls for whereby the KMS encryption for all storage media was implemented. Then moving on to the technical safeguards, where we have the access control, where I implemented the Cognito authentication with the MFA, unique user identification, Cognito with user IDs and AWS IAM, emergency access procedures with AWS Organization for Emergency Access, automatic log of session timeout configurations, encryption, KMS encryption for all data at rest and in transit, audit controls, cloud trail, EKS audit logs, VPC flow logs, integrity S3 object log for immutable storage, and person authentication cognito with OAuth 2, and transmission security where we have the TLS and where I make use of the TLS 1.2 plus for all communications. So this is the project structure right here. Yeah, I have this is the CI/CD pipeline, yeah, and I implemented the OpenID connect into it for um easy authentication, and also this is the architectural diagram here. Yeah, it has the layer from the client from the client user down to all